So break out your finest pair of listening devices and join Ziona and Slaygon for a bit of chat live here on Slay Radio.
Well, wasn't that a great start?
It was. Luckily, it was only us who heard it.
Oh, cool.
I guess, or well, I don't know. Maybe they will let us know. But hello, everyone! Again, the 8th of June, 2023, and it's been a while since I've been on air, right?
It's been a while, yeah. We've done a show with the Encore 500 people. Boz was here. We've been to the X party. Yeah.
But
I put some pants on.
We weren't on the stream on X Party, but before X, we did a warm-up podcast, which turned out to be quite a long summary of the previous X.
Yeah, we recorded quite a bit over there.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you did.
Yeah, but this time you took over the responsibility from me, and I'm very happy about that because it's your time to shine now, and you did awesome, some questions to the people there.
No, not really. It was mostly just a promo thing for Transmission 64.
Well, it was questions. Have you heard?
Well, sure, they were questions, technically.
Yes, they were questions, but not in a way how we did that before. So, yes, X was a blast, and I'm lucky enough to return to this wonderful occasion today, where we will introduce Fastloaders' new triple album, C64 Rocks. So definitely does. And after 9, we will have Jarle as our guest to talk about it and the details.
Yeah, and I also created a new channel called Fastloaders Questions. So if you do have any questions, join us on Discord, slay.radio/Discord, and post your questions in that channel.
Yep, that was a good idea from your end, because we never knew where to ask the questions, and they were like 1,000 places. So now that is absolutely the proper channel to do that. Maybe you could even rename it to questions, so we can constantly use it for questions.
No, I want to, and I misspelled the channel name as well. I noticed it's questions.
I don't see it because I need to.
Anyway, I want to archive the previous interviews we do, like Encore 500. I still want to have those questions in there, so I don't want to have just a long list of questions that are not related to the current one.
Okay.
So I want separate channels for those.
I get it, of course. Yeah. But then, probably we won't keep it like for the whole year.
No, I've already shut off access to the old one. So now the only question channel that is active is the Fastloaders one.
Excellent. Okay. So that's great to hear. And what else we could start the show with than one of the tracks, namely the starter track of the triple album. I thought it's a nice starter. Definitely, it's a starter. So
definitely, it is a starter.
Definitely, it feels like something to start the show with, and that would be Ocean Loader 2, the very first track of the triple album. Well, that's some start, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of the tracks. I haven't had a full listen through. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear some of these tracks because, well, first I went to the Sensor Meet where I heard some of the tracks in Nim's car. Then I heard some other tracks at Cricket's house. And then when I got home, I heard a couple more. It's like
it's 55 tracks after all.
Yeah, exactly. But I need to have a sit down and listen through all of them, like the complete set, because it's sounding absolutely awesome so far.
Everyone needs to have a sit down.
Yeah.
Or, well, for the fact you can stand as well and listen, and you can dance and listen too.
Oh, you can you?
I think so. Someone might agree with me.
Someone might.
Yeah, I wonder where Martin is when you need him. Yeah.
Oh, maybe he's still sleeping after X.
It wouldn't surprise me. I definitely slept throughout the following days. And it was so lucky that we took some day off on Monday because Tuesday was national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just a God-given thing. Like, I literally slept throughout those days. So tired.
So tired.
Still feel a little bit tired, but now I'm getting better, luckily.
Yeah.
Accumulated sleep.
Yeah, I've had quite a bit of sleep, so I'm feeling quite okay, actually.
Of course you do. You went to sleep in time.
Yes, I did. I was fading. I felt it. Instead of plowing through it, I just thought, nah, fuck it, I'm going to sleep now.
Yeah, exactly. And I stayed until like 5 and 7 on Friday and Saturday. So that's how you party.
Yeah, that is how you party indeed.
That is. And then, of course, I would spend my time rather on the dance floor when Jeroen plays his tracks. Which ended, I think, at 3:30. So, yeah, that was one of the things. And then, of course, after that, still we had some chit-chat and all of that. So, yeah, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Really recommend it. And we will be lucky next year because they say that the next X will be next year.
Indeed.
So
in May, I think the date was.
Yeah, around. No, it's not entirely official yet, but
Well,
around.
The date is in May because it's announced already. There's an event on CSTV and everything.
Ah, okay. I
May.
haven't seen that because I was sleeping throughout the days. Remember? But yes, it's really lucky. Of course, after 5 years, I guess the organizers were thinking that let's get back to even years instead, not these odd kind of 23, 25. How would that look? So
10th to the 12th of May.
Oh, even earlier. So less than a year until the next X. And after that, I guess we get back to the normal schedule every second year.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Yeah. And Berlusconi already has a question here. He asks, couldn't you download the digital album like a month ago, Slaygon? Yes, you could. I've been busy.
And also, they had their official introduction concert.
You mean the release party, yes.
The release party, yes, in Underworld in Camden. So obviously that was last week, same weekend as X, but on Friday. So I think that all the official announcements, they were waiting a little bit, and of course this show originally was planned earlier too, but here we are now. Life just brings situations.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a bit of a difficult choice to make there, but well.
Oh yeah, definitely it was.
I hope, and we will ask Jarle about that when he arrives, if there's going to be a bit live in October.
Yeah.
And if I think it's already set that there will be, but the date is not picked yet. So we'll ask him about that as well.
Yep, absolutely. And about many other things.
Many other things, shoe
Yeah.
size and everything.
The most important thing. Who would have guessed? And also, requests are allowed today.
Yeah.
Of course, if they are the most relevant, then we are more happy to play them. But any requests are allowed today. So just so you know.
Yeah, and also if you're one of those Discord refusers and really want to ask a question, you can put that in as a request.
Ah, that's one solution as well. I thought that you would say they can post it to IRC and then
They can post it in snail mail.
snail mail. Yeah, that
We'll
would
pick
be,
it up later on.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Anyway, first request of the evening is Flukes, and that would be a new Amiga remix, Global Trash, Hardwired, Tyros Edition. I like the rhythm progression of this, like this
Reverb.
pumping kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Very
was
nice.
some global trash out there.
Global trash.
Well, that's the song name. So,
3 of them at least.
oh,
Oops.
free, global trash free. Yes.
Yeah, global free trash.
Global free trash. Are
Yeah, I
you
don't know.
sharing trash for free?
Yes, for free. Yes,
That works.
not 3 trash.
Yeah, or you just burn them all and import them like Sweden does.
Yeah, because why not? We
Yeah.
like burning trash.
Yeah, sounds great
Make
to me.
energy.
Yeah, they are really thoughtful about that. So it's really impressive. So this was a recent Amiga remix made by Fluke.
Flu.
And now we started to get all the requests in. Yes. So I'm
Yes,
not afraid
is
that we
excellent.
will run out of songs before we start the interview. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. So if we can just fill 40 minutes, and then we will have 55 tracks to choose from once we get started.
Oh my God, yeah, like literally we cannot run out of tracks, even if we do a 9-hour show instead.
Exactly.
Well, we don't do a 9-hour show.
We
but
don't do
yes.
9-hour shows. Unless we're doing a 24-hour show, then at least part of it is 9 hours at some point, I
Yeah,
would guess.
That's very true. But on Slay Radio, it's been a while, I guess. When was that last time on Slay Radio? I know that Boss Radio did.
Yeah, it's
one.
like 2007 or something like that.
Oh my God, that's
So,
been a while. Maybe
It's been a while, yeah.
maybe it's worth to consider some sort of event in the
Yeah,
near future.
maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we will. So yeah, is Jarle already around? Or
He has not responded yet, so I do not know. We did agree on 9 o'clock, and I know he was at an Iron Maiden concert.
oh yeah.
So yeah, he might not actually hear what we say even. So we'll see.
Ah, okay, that will be a nice interview.
Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry, still didn't recover. And I think it was like 2 days of party for them.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so he posted something about 2 days of Iron Maiden, which, it makes it even more exciting, like how much hearing was there left.
He was pretty close to the stage as well, so
Yeah,
it's like a 5th row or something. So
that's how
probably
you,
loud.
That's how you go to concerts. I never understood this let's stay in the background kind of thing. I'm always in the first rows, like no exceptions. Really, if I go on my own, or I drag my friends, then they need to put up with the fact that we need to be at the front. And yeah, sometimes the acoustics are not the best there, for sure, but still the whole experience is you being part of it and the stage.
Well, you can feel part of it without being right smack onto the stage.
Well, okay, yeah, I don't do this when there is such a crowd that they get wild, like so much that they are pushing each other, because
Mosh pit!
that I don't have the physical power to stay on my feet, so
To staying alive.
yeah. Still remember that night. I think it was Paradise Lost when Gorgoy saved my life. And he tried to drag me on the side because everyone was just pushing everyone. So yeah, first rows. Sometimes people can get wild, but most of the time it's fine. So part of the experience.
It is. I kind of usually prefer to be a few rows back at least, because then you don't have that full-on sound straight at you, and it doesn't distort the shit out of everything in your ears.
Yeah.
It's still quite loud. So yeah. And yes,
Shetil. And of course, Paranoid Red added, Iron Maiden were in Bergen, right. So he didn't even need to go that far. That's pretty cool, actually. And Shetil added, Jarle plays in an Iron Maiden tribute band. Fastloaders minus me. plus some others. And they had a concert on Tuesday, and then Iron Maiden played yesterday on a tad bigger stage.
Just a tad bit,
So-
bigger.
Okay, well, nice daily schedule right after each other, I guess. So,
Proton says, I'd like to see Iron Maiden on Slay Radio. Yeah, me too, but I'm not going to interview them at all because they haven't done any remixes. So
Yeah.
if they do a remix, sure, why not?
if they do a Commodore 64 remix,
Yeah.
then they can be on Slay Radio. Otherwise, they're not allowed to, and
Yeah.
you would absolutely reject them.
Yeah.
You have very strict rules, as we know it.
Yeah, maybe we could ask Jarle to poke them and say, Oi, do a remix for fuck's sake.
You never know what will come out of this.
Yeah, it's easy for them to get here at least because I think at least the singer Bruce Dickinson has a pilot's license, so he actually flies the band around himself.
Oh, that's very versatile, I would say. Nice. And we have Max Levine with us, who just sent this message.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson won't pilot band's plane anymore. Oh, in 2022.
But it sounded cool. So,
Yeah, he used to.
Yeah. Sounded really cool. So, Max Levine sent this message. Hooligan Choir requests Storm Warrior suit, Storm Warrior suit, Storm Warrior suit. That's it. That's what the Hooligan Choir wants. So, why not play that for them? Wow.
Krang.
Krang. Almost Krang.
Almost.
Not quite, but yeah, it's a really, really nice song.
Andrew Kroll on YouTube says that bring on Apoptygma Berserk, because apparently they've done a whole album. Apoptygma Berserk goes C64 apparently. I can only find one track that is from them.
Jesus Christ, guys.
And that's the Kathy's song, or
Katie's song, yeah.
Was it Katie?
Katie, I think.
Kathy's song.
Why Katie? Why not Katie?
Because Kathy. Kathy.
So that's Kathy?
Yeah.
I believe you know better. That's for sure.
Could be Katie.
Yes.
I don't give a shit. Could be either.
I always said Katie's song, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I like the way you're thinking here. So Paranoid Druid brought up that In Flames may come to Slay Radio. They did one of their own songs in C64 SID style, Moonshield. So when are they interviewed? Also, Dimmu Borgir used Amiga Games Agony music on Stormblast. When are they interviewed? Amon Amarth member is a demo scener. Interview when? Yeah, I really like that. I like that list. We can definitely go on.
Yeah, isn't one of those big DJ fellows demo scener as well?
Which one?
Swedish big DJ. Name the top 3, and he's probably one of them.
Name the top 3.
Swedish.
Well, there was Avicii, and I don't know, Swedish House Mafia that I can think of.
That's
really?
Yes, they are demo sceners.
They are demo sceners?
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
I told you it's the top 3.
Well.
And Berlusconi says Swedish House Mafia as well.
Yeah, like the most obvious, pick the most obvious one. Which Swedish DJ? Swedish House Mafia. It's included in the name.
Yeah, Axwell, Quasar.
Oh God, awesome. There are so many people that we can still think of. Great to know that the list is just never ending. So
yeah, essentially every AAA game is like demo sceners that have coded them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Because why not?
Yeah, definitely.
It's fun. In it.
Would be.
So I'm just.
I need your contact network around here. What are you trying to do there? Will you
just
share?
Verifying with Jarle some details.
Okay. So he appeared. So there will be an interview tonight. Yeah. Now we know.
I was just about to say, I'm starting to get a little bit worried. Yeah.
It's all good. All good.
All good.
And what we have lined up here is a classic for Luna, because she requested Machine Supremacy and Jaina Sisters, one of the very first C64 remixes I have heard in this style, and instantly fell in love with it before I started to like metal, actually. Surprising, right?
It's very nice folks as well.
Yes, indeed, they are. So
you met them as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, you don't remember because it was in Budapest first. Yes, they did a concert in Budapest first. Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
I have a selfie even on my Facebook.
Nice.
Come on, and it's a nice one. So it just needs to be digged up. It's been a while, at least 6 years, 7, 8. I don't know.
A long time ago.
Yeah, 7. So
a long
it was a great
ago.
concert, and Luna requested one of the biggest classic Jaina Sisters. Yeah, now that I think of this track, seriously, that was in my life, it was ahead of its time, because I think that it's been 2007-ish when I started to pay attention to metal sort of music, and namely the heavy metal and the power metal within the heavy metal, obviously. So yeah, it's and before that I wasn't really even into rock and metal, but this one was absolutely fine. So yes, that was on my playlist constantly. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and yeah, but definitely ahead of its time, because when that was released, there was nothing on the remix scene like it before. Well, of course there were rock type things, but nothing on this production value.
Yeah,
it was like professional musicians doing professional recordings, using professional mix engineers and professional mastering engineers, and doing professional things as professionals do, essentially.
It's just too many professionals in this sentence anyway.
Yeah, I know,
it
right?
Cannot be too much for them, obviously.
Doing professional things.
Yes. Yes, I understand, because it cannot be described how professional they are. Just like fast loaders.
Just like them, yes.
Just like them. So, in a sense, do you remember when fast loaders appeared on the scene first?
2016, I think it was.
16?
Yeah, I think it was 2016.
Wasn't that earlier?
No, I'm pretty sure their first they released their first album that was kind of no, I think Jarle might have actually released something first.
Hang on.
Like shortly before Storm Warrior 2001.
Yep.
But fast loaders.
Yes, Jarle already released in 2001 himself, and the first fast loader release on the Remix 64 and RKO was 2014.
2014,
so,
okay.
Yes, 2014. January, is it January? No, December. Sorry, it's December.
I hate those American-style dates.
Confusion with the month and the day, but yes, December, end of 2014, essentially. That's where they appeared.
Of course, they would have released something on RKO and Remix 64 before they released a full-ass Ninja Musicology. Is that like 3 albums, or was it 2 as well? Or CDs, I guess.
Oh, 2, 3 already. Who can follow this, right? Oh my God, so many massive amount of tracks.
Insanity.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say quite a decent discography there for sure.
Very much so.
Yeah, crazy. It is crazy. And it was a triple album as well.
Oh, yeah.
They like triple albums.
Yeah, apparently so. Except for Progressive 64, which is only 1.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Such a tiny album.
That's the only exception, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Is that what you mean? I just need to verify this. But
verify what?
Verify that this is the only single thingy.
Well.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I did the cover on that one.
You did the cover, yeah. So yeah, definitely crazy amount. And what we have on the agenda, because we are getting close.
Yeah, I think we have maybe one more track, or maybe can squeeze in 2.
That would be a 10-minute long track.
They're not known for the shortest tracks ever.
No,
so.
but the thing is that Paranoid Droid, who had really great ideas today, so I want to reward him, and of course for the synth chips as well, the broken synth chips. Thank you, Paranoid Droid, massively, because they will end up being beautiful earrings, definitely. Yep. And I don't need to harm any seed chips whatsoever. So that makes me very, very happy. And he requested Sonic Bliss by Gaspode. This track is from Nordlicht 2020 party. And it was part of the combined music compo. And forgive me if something won't sound right, because that's gonna play from my computer, but let's see how it works now.
Sounds fine.
Hopefully.
Go.
What a lovely track. Thank
Robocopy ending.
Thank you, Paranoid Droid, for requesting this.
Terminatory ending.
Oh, Robocopy Terminatory? Which one? Let's make up our minds.
I made up my mind. I said Robocop mistakenly, and then I corrected myself.
Okay.
Terminatory.
Because you correct everyone, you correct even yourself, as we know. What happens
Live
if
by the sword, die by the sword.
What happens if I pull out the plug right now from my computer?
It will make a bit of a noise.
Ever so slightly.
Boom. But
Yeah.
if you do it quick, it's gonna be over fast. Perfect.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Good. So now no other social applications can interfere with anything. Just to make sure. But I just want to follow the discussion as well, because there might be some interesting things going on there, right? So
Could be.
we will get fast loaders questions. I can see that there are already there are already 2.
Yeah. So if you
So-
do want to ask questions, you can join us on Discord. And ask the questions in the Fast Loaders question channel. And if you don't want to join us on Discord, you can still ask questions by posting a request, and you can do that on the homepage, slay.radio. And you don't even need to log in or create an account.
Amazing
Yes.
tech these days.
Slay.radio request. Yes.
Okay.
There
So
we go.
If you don't want to join on Discord, then you can join on that cord. But
This and that cord.
so
How long is the cord?
well, let's ask Jarle later on. I'm pretty sure
let's-
he knows a lot of chords. How long they
Let's
need
not
to be.
ask Jarle how long his cord is, please.
Not his, just generic chords we are talking about. Jesus Christ, Slaygon.
Well, it depends on if it's a karang at the end of a song or not.
Okay, yeah, the crank needs to be longer. Yeah, he is saying yes, definitely. Okay, yes, we can already see him. Soon you will be able to see him too. But first we need to
And
play.
hopefully hear him.
Well, yeah, that would help actually. Otherwise it would be an interesting evening. So, Berka wants another track from the C64 Rocks, and that would be Bionic Commando by them. So let's give this a spin, and after that we will return with Jarle.
See you soon.
Are you sure? Yes, that's the one. That's
I
the one
think-
we need.
Yeah, I
guess.
think both work. I guess you can hear us, Jarle?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Excellent.
Whoa.
And we can hear
Cool.
you.
And hopefully
That's good.
everyone else can hear you well as well. That's the other question.
Well as well.
Well as well. We need to verify that before we.
Nice to be back on air with you guys.
So nice to see you again.
Yeah, indeed. So nice to see you.
Sitting there in your studio and everything. Nice setup you have there.
Yeah, the new setup. This is where I spend most of my time lately. So, as you can imagine.
Don't you need a break from it every now and then?
Oh,
Absolutely. That's just I would get mad if I didn't have the breaks in between. But just trying to make everything in time. We are a little bit late this time around because there were so many songs, so it kind of drained out a lot more than expected. But we managed to get in goal at last. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, how much time it needed from start to end? These 55 songs? Oops.
yeah,
Is he gone?
I haven't calculated it.
it's
But I don't know. I think we started around, probably March last year, something like that. And the programming, all the arrangements and programming stuff, it's what takes the most time, and then we started the action.
Okay.
So it's been probably a year or something like that.
Okay, like if it's March and the release, well, May, 14 months, kind of.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
impressive. And
yeah.
now if we count like 55 tracks divided by 14, that means
a hell of a lot.
yeah, like 1 month there should have been about 3-4 tracks professionally produced and like all the instrumentation and everything put together. Wow, that's like 1 track per week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Something like that, yes. Yeah, so. Well, it's important to keep the straight line on this because there are so many tracks that I found a way to like mentally like just getting through all of them. So I just did them chronologically and alphabetically, kind of chronologically. So to keep them in order,
Yeah.
and sending tracks to Bjarte who recorded drums, and he sent it back to me, and I recorded guitars, and etc. And that's the way we always work, and it works great. But this time around, it was like just the most ambitious amounts of songs. So yeah, but we got through it. So and we had our release party last Friday, actually in London. So it was great.
Yeah.
Wow. How many tracks did you play out of the 55?
Yeah, I guess you didn't play all of them.
But we played like 25 tracks, I think.
Wow.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
That's a bunch. And then some.
Yeah, we did some tracks mostly tracks from the album. Actually, we did 2 tracks from Mania Musicology. That's it, So
Yeah.
Okay, so the show must have been somewhere between 2 and 3 hours, I guess, right?
that was we actually had a curfew there. So like we started at 8 and the curfew was 10. So we actually managed to go through them for like 1 hour and 45 or 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Did you play them at
Approximately.
twice the speed or something?
Well, it certainly felt like that, especially when we came to the Monty and Run and stuff. But
Exactly.
no,
I was
we
thinking
just
that.
were efficient. Not,
So-
not talking, just playing. Yeah.
So no time for social niceties. Hi, bye. Playing
Exactly.
on the tracks.
We're fast loaders. Cover your ears. We're going now.
Exactly. Straight to business,
Exactly.
But we had like an after party afterwards, hang out and do some talking. It was great fun. Really appreciate all the people who came there, and it was a great bunch, and they were making the night a nice, memorable night for us. and great atmosphere, and seeing some of these people again that we haven't seen in a long time. Even some guys we met that have been there 7 years ago at the release of Ninja Musicology. So that was great.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And then of course you said after the concert you had the after party as well, right? So must have stayed up for a while, right? Like,
yeah.
When did you start?
Well, in UK it's like the thing that after a certain hour it become like a nightclub, so you can stay forever in the pubs. But you probably stay until I can remember like 3 a.m. or something like that, and hang out and meet all the people downstairs that was there.
Yeah, so
and met a lot of different personalities. It was great, some guys came from Spain, and we had people coming. They brought even their commandor with them from Spain. That was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. So you got to sign a 64.
They're dedicated.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't feel like worthy though to put my name next to Rob Hubbard and stuff like that. So I chose another corner of the
I know the feeling.
If you feel it's totally valid, so you definitely have the space there.
Can we play a track so I can try to sort out the synchronization? Because you're very much out of sync with the audio. So I need to have a look at that.
How much is perceived on air from that, because I thought it's only us, but
no, it's on air as well. They see this, so which is also out of sync.
Okay, so let's try to sort this out. Which track would you pick if you would want to represent the album like at its best, and you need to think of only one track? I know this is super difficult.
It's kind of possible to choose, but just like put the album from start on, because I think it's a great intro, the Ocean Loader.
Yeah, and we already played it at the start of the show. That's what we introduced the whole thing with.
So I guess we're on the second track then.
Let me see here if I can find another one then. I think in the essence, I think Platoon is a pretty cool, heavy track that kind of resembles Fast Loaders pretty well.
Once again?
Platoon.
Platoon. Oh, yeah, of course. Slaygon's big favorite there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, okay. So we will come back after Platoon and let's see if we can sort out those video sync issues.
Yes.
Yeah. So...
I don't see
So let's see how this thing goes, because it seems like we
lost
need
him.
we need to tweak this video stream. So
he was there, and we got it kind of sort of sorted, and now he's back. Yay!
oh,
there we go.
unbelievable. Okay. So
and can we
now,
hear him now? Yes.
I switched him on, but
Yeah. We can't hear you though.
oh God.
This is working great, isn't it?
All right. Okay. So, well, I take the perfect occasion in this case to play one of my favorite tracks, if that's okay. And meanwhile we are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
now we
there
can
we
hear
go.
you.
Then we are not playing the track.
Cool.
Well.
Right, there we go.
Okay.
Better.
Excellent. Okay. So yeah, that magical sound effect was indicating that something is all right now.
No.
No,
That was just a connection sound.
Yeah, I know it's the connection sound. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So
Okay,
were
so there we go. Now we have some sort of a picture again.
Yeah.
And
Let's
Fluke
try
says,
again.
you guys are professionals. You betcha.
Well, again, do you hear me well? The synchronization and everything.
Sync
cool
is fine now, and we can hear you
and I
pretty
need
well.
a little volume
There
on
we
him
go,
if possible. Yeah, thank you. That would be
There we go.
awesome. Yeah.
now? Okay, let's try this again then. Lovely to be back on air with you guys. Thanks for having us again. Fortunately, the rest of the fast loaders couldn't be here, so here we are with just one of them. So.
We're happy to have at least you, so that's I think that's a win for everyone that we have at least someone from Fast Loaders to talk us through all of the stuff that you did. I actually did look back a little bit on your album releases. 2016, Ninja Musicology, three CDs, and then Progressive 64 in 2017. 2018, Rock Hubbard, and I have typed Rick Hubbard. And in 2020, Amiga Rocks, and this year, C64 Rocks. So it's actually, after Rock Hubbard, it took 2 years to the next one, and now it took 3 years to the next one. Is that a trend? Like, next one is 4 years off?
Well, we entered the whole COVID thing, and the years just flied. We didn't have a specific deadline or anything. We was supposed plan to finish this one in 2022 because, but due to all the extra tracks and stuff like that, we had to extend it to 2023.
Oh yeah, you went way over the what you asked for on the Kickstarter and had a lot of bonus tracks in there.
Yeah, and apparently I think it was 15 bonus tracks. Something like that. I told Chris, like, hey, we have to stop this madness, we have to supposed to record all this stuff as well, timeline for this. But it's a luxurious problem. I mean, I would call it to have too many tracks. But I think after all, the collection of tracks turned out great. There was just a bunch of the tracks that I've never heard even myself before that I really liked and thought turned out pretty cool. So yeah, that was great. Yeah,
and geez. 55 tracks. I struggled for 5 years to do my 7 on Cinematic 64.
Yeah, it's heavy.
So originally it was meant to be 40 tracks, and then it became 55 because of the bonus tracks. Yeah,
exactly, approximately like that. And technically, 10 of the tracks we already kind of worked out from before, which was from Progressive 64.
Mm-hmm.
So they were technically made more or less. We did some changes of the arrangements and re-recorded some stuff and added some flavors and stuff, to make it kind of up with the rest of the album, sound-wise and arrangement-wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so polishing it up. And then if we think of Fast Loaders itself, like we saw that you released in 2001 first on RKO, right? But with Fast Loaders...
I wouldn't call that a release even. I would call it some bullshit that I put together back in the day. I don't know even.
2 songs at least, so they are there. They are still there. You didn't withdraw them. I don't want to give you tips though, so no. But the first Fast Loader release is from 2014, which means that you guys are on the scene pretty much for 9 years now, right?
Yeah, so 10-year anniversary album then.
Oh, wow. I haven't thought about that.
There you go.
And since you came out with 6 albums in 9 years, that means 1 album every 1.5 year, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Uh-huh.
So now there's an obligation coming. You feel that, right? Oh my
I
God.
never got to get up. This infinite loop.
Yeah, exactly. No, we don't want you to get burned out. So nothing like that. But, well, of course, it would be awesome if you can keep that going.
Speaking of being burnt out and whatnot, how does it feel after like this release party? I guess is one thing, because that's kind of now we're done. Let's present our work kind of thing. But like Bit Lives, for instance. Do you get energized by those? Like, now I want to do more of this, or what do you feel?
Yeah,
after?
absolutely. I mean, I feel like there is always like these standpoints you work towards. For example, now I was working towards the finalization of the album, and then you have the release party, and then back in time. So there's always these things you're working towards, and have a goal that you're working towards. So and of course, as you say, it really affects us, like the audience that comes and they say that they like it so much and they love to hear those songs, and that's the way they always thought it was supposed to be, etc., etc. So these kind of things really gives you kind of new energy to keep doing it, because to keep giving people these tracks and seeing so many people very enthusiastic about them, it gives you a lot back, the feedback of the audience and stuff.
Yeah, it shows when you're on stage that you really enjoy being there and kind of present your works as it were. So yeah.
It's so different to perform it live for an audience than just when it's done on album format. Of course, it's the statement and it's done and everything. But every time you play one of these tracks live, it feels different every time. It's played there or times, but every time feels different. So
yeah,
it's always great, fun.
Yeah, is it like an audience feedback thing that makes it different, or is it that you feel it plays different every time? So if you were to record it like every live setting, then they would all be different, or is it a combination?
There would always be indeed some small details that would be different. We mainly try to keep the tracks basically a lot alike the album, but there was always going to be some small improvisation and some solo parts and stuff like that. And that's actually what I love playing live, because it makes it less static for the performers to play a little bit like outside, some notes here and there, and make some other choices than maybe you didn't do at the time when you record the album and stuff. So it's it's part of the.
Yeah, if you want notes played outside, hire me. I'm shit. I wouldn't hit a single note that is needed.
Wow, that's a special talent. All the other notes.
Yeah. Well, the challenge with this specific, the whole 64 songs thing, is that every freaking track is in a different key. There is rarely one track in the same key or in a logic key for example, a guitar. So there is always these sharps or flats tonalities that is kind of difficult to perform in, because you can't use open strings and stuff like that. and it makes it a lot more challenging to remember all the places where to put the fingers and to remember all the keys, key changes, and tempos. And so it's a real challenge to kind of memorize all these tracks because we play it or the original key as the zip files.
Yeah. And you insist on the original key most of the time.
I do insist. I don't know why, but I kind of.
I understand that. I totally get it. Yeah. Yeah, it's always better when it's true to the original.
Yeah, unless you are actually going for something entirely different, which fast loaders are not. It's like covering in a metal style, the original. Yeah. So yeah,
true to the original.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
So how have you guys been doing lately?
Oh, it's been busy times.
Yeah.
Last weekend, the reason we weren't watching you, it's...
Tell me about it.
Yeah. We were in the Netherlands, as you know. And we at least got to meet Bård, who flew over the day after. So he came and turned me upside down, physically, like literally. He picked me up and turned me upside down.
He picks up everyone who he is happy about.
Style.
Yeah, that's very much Bård style.
Does he pick up you as well?
Sometimes he does.
Oh, that is so cute. So he's just happy about people. He lifts them up, basically, just to tell it to everyone else who didn't meet Bård just yet. So massive.
So in case you find yourself upside down for some reason, it's probably Bård.
Probably Bård. Yeah.
No, it's been busy times. It's I had to have Boz fill in for Erika because she had to fly back home to take care of some personal business. So one of the reasons we were supposed to have this interview before your concert in Camden, but unfortunately that couldn't happen. So
right.
This is why we're here today. But
yeah.
There is always an opportunity when one door closes, another one opens. That's
exactly. And now people who were there already know how the album sounds like. Mm-hmm. So now it's just unfolding the things and the story behind. Because obviously, if you did a turbo gig, then there weren't really much time to talk about these things, right? So we can just unfold them now.
It's a lot of tracks to comprehend. I mean, to sink into, and it takes time. Me myself, when I get an album, I need time to kind of dive into the album and to listen track by track. Probably most people who listen for the first time, they probably find their favorite tracks and listen to them, and then they start eventually to listen to their other tracks included.
Yeah.
But I would definitely recommend to go through it if somebody still has a CD player, just put CD by CD and listen through it because it has a connection.
Yeah,
so.
Like in my short album, there is actually a story that follows through the tracks. It's not a written out story, so it's like meant to kind of make you feel certain things at certain times, and then there's a keyword or two that kind of guides your story along. So I like
the conceptual album, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I very much like that. So this is one of the reasons I still haven't had time to go through the whole album yet.
Yeah. I mean, I know. Tell me about it. I mean, it takes time to think out all these things, and also even the order of the songs is very important because fast songs make slow songs sounds good and vice versa. So you don't want to put you don't want to put 10 bionic commandos in a row, Kind of spread them out a little bit of the crazy tracks and the slower tracks and stuff. So.
Yeah,
it's like a little bit like a DJ set as a whole. You kind of need to keep the momentum going by the difference between the tracks, essentially.
The dynamics.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
right.
Indeed. Can we listen to one of my favorites now? Maybe. Maybe. Well, Nemesis the Warlock is a beautiful track, and it's just Yeah, I think it would be awesome if everyone could hear it. So I'm just pressing this play button right now, and we will be back after this is a long track, but I don't mind. I guess it gives
probably one of the longer tracks, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely don't mind. Hope others won't too, or either. Sorry, and it gives you a little break as well if you want to grab another beer.
Or maybe while you're waiting, make a new remix.
Yeah, during that 7 minutes, definitely.
I can't wait to start.
That's the spirit.
We are a bit loud.
Rock. Yeah, proper rock thing with feedback and everything.
Definite crank there. Wow. So,
Yes, we're back. And
Yeah,
we
I couldn't figure out the Discord thing. I mean, I never. Chetel was the one who insisted me using it. So I just installed it, but I'm kind of when it comes to these things. So
I was struggling with it at least for half year until I kind of figured out where the private messages, the sub channels, and everything is,
and servers,
and the servers, and it's like
but he showed us the phone and he showed exactly where he clicks. It just went to his private messages.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah. So I guess we will raise the questions for you then. In this case, you're in. We see you on the channel, but somehow, yeah, that sub channel is not really showing what it should. So, Paranoid Droid has a good question. Have you had any very positive feedback from the people who aren't from the scene and did not know any of the original songs prior to hearing your versions?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because I'm thinking sometimes the same that people who is not into the scene or haven't played even, Commodore back in the days and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for some of them to kind of understand what's it about and why the hell we're doing it, So, but some people who haven't played haven't been listening to some of these tracks, and actually when we played live in 2019, there was a bartender at the inside. I met him the day afterwards. Me and Chetel went to grab some pizza, and we met this guy. He was a metal guy. He's like into metal music in general. And he was like, "Yeah, I was at work yesterday, and there was this instrumental metal band. It was quite cool actually, but I don't know what kind of band it was." And I was actually it was us standing on stage. Didn't you see us? The guy had been working there for the whole event, but he hadn't noticed who it was actually playing. So
cool.
But he actually liked music. He said it was great, that it sounded cool and stuff like that. So there are people into it, even though they haven't played the games or like had any familiarities with the music from before. And that's kind of the point that I think anyone could probably like this, as you kind of modernize it in a rocking way. So it kind of could sound like any other rock and roll band, but of course with a different flavor, compositional wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your small twists and turns when you cover Sid. Yes.
Yeah, and according to like the arrangement of the verse and chorus and stuff, it can sometimes skip and make weird turns. I mean, quite progressive actually, some of the tracks.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a typical pop song either. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
But we have gotten some good feedback from people who have heard the albums and really liked it, but they don't have a clue about the scene or the original games and where it comes from. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine it can work, because that's what led me to the C64 scene, the remixes. Actually, it started with the remixes. So first I didn't know what's going on. I just heard these songs and they are so cool. Seriously, where does it come from? And then turned out it got me to the SIDS, and then I just all of a sudden started to appreciate chip music that I didn't before. So
both chip music and metal.
Yeah, no, that was later. Metal came later, a bit later,
okay.
But definitely that was one of the entrances. Machine Supremacy. Mm-hmm. So
everybody remember them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Were they an inspiration for you guys as well?
No, to be honest with you, I heard some tracks that I never listened a lot to their stuff for some reason. I don't know. But we actually attended a gig they did in Bergen, like in 2018 or 19, around that time. And we were expecting like, okay, great, let's go to see Machine Supremacy and hear some Commodore music in the rocking way and stuff. But they ended up playing just original material or some material that me and Bård and Kjetil was there, and Bjarte also was there, but we didn't recognize any of the tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the 64
because-
stuff is just something they did once, and then let's get back to our regular shit.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Because I guess that was just a side project for them.
Yeah.
But they also played as the how do you call it in English? Pre-band, like the warm-up band for
Warm up.
warm-up. Yeah, the warm-up as Children of Bodom.
Okay, cool.
Back in the days, yeah, I've been at that concert in Budapest like 10 years ago. Yeah, something like that. I also expected
me.
some. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been at least 10 years, I think, and I also expected some C64 tracks coming in, but obviously they didn't go for that. So yeah, they are more about.
They supporting Chill on the Bottom back then. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so yeah, they were out there definitely for a long while, and they mostly do the original stuff that they do. So yeah. But anyway.
Lala asked, will we ever hear Fast Loaders sing on a remix? And Kjetil said, no. No hesitance or anything, just no. And Lala has a follow-up
Kjetil is
question.
Very correct.
Yeah, and Lala has a follow-up question. Okay, will we ever hear someone else sing on a Fast Loaders remix?
I think the closest thing we've been was probably last year when we went to München and we did like an Amiga after-show party there. And we did, John Hare joined us and staged.
Nice.
And did 2 Canon photo songs, of course.
Oh.
And he was singing one of them. First, like this ballad of the Canon photo. And first he was singing it and with the full lyrics and everything. And then afterwards we blended it into the Fast Loaders instrumental version. You know.
Nice.
So probably the closest thing we've been to have vocals on the tracks.
And that's it. You had enough.
Yeah, that's it. He kind of spoiled it for us now. He did great.
Yeah, so Lala.
We did another like track of the Canon further as well, with like more of a Reggie track. We never arranged it ourselves, but we did it with them, so it was fun.
Yeah. So there you go, Lala. Already done. Not happening again.
By the way, Lala, thanks for the excellent review. I really enjoyed reading that. So
Yeah.
He does great stuff on Remix 64. Yeah.
A lot of reviews. Lots and lots and lots of them. He did one of mine as well. Really great, like really detailed and very nice to hear. Like he really put some thought into it.
Yeah, that was great. You know, the reviews when you can notice between the lines that this person has really listened and paid attention. That of course, you know, it's the best reviews. You know?
Yeah, mine would just be no. It didn't have a Kerrang at the end or Foodly-Doom shit song. Next.
I remember one time I had a review in a Norwegian newspaper for my own album back in 2011, and the review was good. It got 5 out of 6, but basically what it said it was that one of the tracks sounded like a butter commercial. That was it.
Wow.
How can you give me 5 out of 6 if that's what you had to say about the album?
Really? The stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, maybe not the stupidest, but among them.
Wow. That's really weird. And that also brings us to like FS is one of the questions which we partially know the answer to, but do you only play SID related songs or own or cover songs? So you also play Amiga remixes, we know that. But how about, I guess, own compositions, like in any point in time?
Well, I do have different projects for that. I mean, mainly Fast Loaders is what it is, you know, it's 100% dedicated to C64 and Amiga kind of tribute thing. So with own compositions, I would say probably my own project Quadrasonic, which I really have a lot of music for, but I haven't got around because Pulse Loaders has occupied all the time.
Yeah, we already talked about your busy schedule and all of that. We really appreciate it, by the way.
So regarding own compositions, probably, I think Quadrasonic is the project for that, and Pulse Loaders is basically a 8-bit tribute band. And yeah.
And if someone wants to look into Quadrasonic, then where can they find it? If
Quadrasonic, well, they can find it on Spotify and most streaming services online, actually. So it's quite old, the album now. It's from 2011, so it's basically spread out there. So it's fairly easy to find.
Okay. Yep. And of course, the question comes as well: do you consider yourselves as professional musicians?
I would say so, yes.
I would say so.
Being
just modest. Yeah, I would say so.
Well, if you get paid for doing music, I guess you're a professional.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing music probably professionally since the early 2000s, really. So it's been a long time. And actually, Fast Loaders, the idea come to mind before we went professional about it, It came to mind in the 90s. Me and Chetel grew up together, and we always was playing, trying at least to play this music. Good that we didn't have any recordings of it.
Don't say that. Chetel might have something hidden in the attic or something.
But yeah, often we jammed to this music and stuff. So we had the ambitions of doing it a long time ago, but we didn't come around to actually professionally getting around doing it until, as you say, 2014, around that time.
And did Bjarte come around later?
Yeah, I mean, we got to know each other in 2002, early 2000, playing at other different constellations, different bands. So he was, for me, the go-to drummer, one of the best drummers around. And me and him has always had a very close relationship regarding music, and we have a lot of similarities in styles and a taste of music. So it was a natural guy to ask. And he also played a lot of Commodore and Amiga when he was a kid. So he was, yeah, sure, in,
Yeah, the whole package.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. I guess it's music time now. If my voice is going away, by the way, it is because of the parties.
Yeah, you should stop screaming at the parties.
Yeah, never
Jarle
scream.
wasn't even there.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if his voice would go away after a while too. Maybe it's just to got used to the gigs so much that it doesn't hurt him anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he screams at the audience, though. It's usually the other way around.
That's very true. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to scream back, but that's just a pure joy.
I wonder if we should play your personal favorite to play, Monty on the Run, as we know, right? Because that's the most difficult to play, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Probably now, actually, by think about it, probably Bionic Commando is up there with Monty on the Run. So.
Okay. But Bionic Commando we already played tonight, so that leaves us with Monty on the Run, I guess.
Monty on the Run. Sure.
Okay, let's go with that. How many times did you need to exercise this?
Well, before a gig, I always have to play this couple of 100 times to get it like in my DNA, because you can't you can't think. You just have it's just have to be muscle memory, So
Yeah, just repetition.
yeah,
Definitely.
Yes.
Oh my God. And we talked about platforms earlier, and Luke had a point with this question that what platforms have the members in the band come from? C64, Amiga, Nintendo, or not at all from the scene?
Well, I can speak for myself at least. I started out with a Commodore because, my older brother, I was going to do young for the Commodore, and my older brother is 9 years older, so he had a Commodore at home. So, of course, when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was noodling around with it. And I was mostly into games, and that's where the music just penetrated into my mind, because I was trying to jump from point A to point B for 10 hours, and while the music was on loop. So that's where you get the music. Yeah, you guys can remember the same. Yeah. And later, kind of switch on to the Amiga, and I was following, and that's it. I think most the other guys also started out with the Commodore, except from Shettle. He was into the Amiga first. Yeah.
But he grudgingly was willing to join.
Yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. I showcased him Last Ninja, and stuff like that. So he got into the music as well, and the games as well. So, yeah,
nice.
And I see somebody here the favorite game, as I already kind of responded. Favorite games and the C64. My personal favorite, as probably is not a surprise for anyone, is Last Ninja. So.
Whose isn't it?
Why would you dedicate a full album to that if it wouldn't be right?
But there was other games that I really loved. I really liked a lot of these that we covered now on the new album, like Exploding Fist 2 was one of my favorites. The only part that had a fucking bug on it, so there was like an infinitive amount of enemies coming up and stuff like that. So because it was a copied game, so it had bad crack. Classic games. The Green Beret was one of my favorites and one of the most difficult games in the world, I think. And lots of others. I can come to mind now, but there are so many.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I didn't play that much, but I had all the games, at least for so long that I could rip the music out of them, so I could play them just the music whenever I wanted.
But you didn't play. You were more into like programming, or
yeah, exactly. I started with programming and whatnot, so kind of. I was never really interested in playing, but the music itself, I even bought games like Last Ninja and Mutants, one of the weirdest games ever. I never played the game, but I have the original because I had to buy it because of the music, of course. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really decent that you bought it because of the music.
Yeah, it was so good. I actually had to buy it for money, real money.
Yeah, and some of it you actually, that was, you bought them or you even played them just for the sake of the music.
Yeah,
you thought it was so cool, so you just bought it for the sake of having the original and being able to listen to it and stuff like that. And the loading sessions were never boring for me because there was always this amazing music.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of what I was wanted to say there, is that especially with the Last Ninja, your favorite, with all the loading music, it's like the loading music was sometimes better than the in-game music. But
absolutely,
even me,
I got sometimes pissed when the game started because I wanted to hear more music, and it kind of cut the music.
Yes, exactly.
More, I don't want it to play.
That's why you had to rip them, so you can hear the full thing on repeat.
Exactly.
I don't even want to imagine what would happen if I would have a 64 instead of a ZX Spectrum. Well, ZX Spectrum we didn't like because of its music. That's for sure. But it was great fun to play with it, for sure.
Yeah, rubber keys and everything.
Yep. but definitely not for the music. So
No, definitely not.
so I'm a late arrival. It's been 20 years, exactly 20 years since I put my hands on the first C64 remixes. So yeah,
Yeah,
memorable moments.
20 years. Yeah, you are a youngster among us.
Yeah,
in a
compared to
sense.
you guys, definitely. But well, the point is that finally we arrived, all of us. So that's great.
Yeah, exactly. We have converged
Yeah,
tonight,
indeed.
right here.
And of course, this ties to our other question, which we partially know the answer because we know Iron Maiden is a big influence on you.
Yep.
What a surprise. But FS asked, what are your favorite metal bands or music you are listening to?
Yeah. Well, I grew up with the classic heavy metal. I like it, like as you said, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Testament, and then later I got it more into like more progressive stuff like Dream Theater, Symphony X, and like a lot of guitar guys and stuff like that. So in the early days, I was listening to a lot of these metal bands, but later as time go by, since I started to play a lot of metal, myself, I really also enjoy listening to other types of music, like straight pop stuff and more chill music. So probably now when I'm listening to music, it's probably more like different styles than I'm playing myself, because you kind of relax more listening to other music than you're constantly playing, So
Yeah.
I love a lot of synth stuff, like for example Depeche Mode or The Cure and stuff, which is not like metal related. But of course, I mean, I like the metal because it has the power. I mean, the punchiness and the power, So I really love that part of metal. But the arrangement of a pop song, I think you should never underestimate, because I think that's some of the most clever arrangements in music, like pop. Like the huge composers, like Paul McCartney and Elton John. They are geniuses of the simple arrangement make a song stand out. Simple and
Yeah, it's like how many different ways can you arrange 4 chords?
These guys are geniuses in those things. So, but of course, I'm a lot influenced by early metal stuff, like heavy metal. I actually saw Maiden yesterday, so I'm kind of fucking close. So.
Yeah, you were like 5th row or something from the looks of it.
Yeah, we're close to the stage actually, and and it probably has been. I've seen them probably 8 times or 10 times, something like that. But this time was the one closest to stage, so I could really stand and observe and get in touch with the band. It was great. It was an amazing concert. And they did like this Future Past tour when they repeated some of the old classics from like 1986, and it was a moment of tears and joy.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this, but I used to be a very long-haired metalhead. I will show you something.
Wow.
Oh God. You like that one?
I used to wear this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are. I think I saw like thousands of these yesterday.
Yeah, Scorpions, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss, Twisted Sister, Mötley Crüe, Metallica.
Right.
And then we have Mötley Crüe on the back and Black Sabbath.
Like super 80s.
Van Halen.
But I have a question for you, Kenneth.
Yeah?
Try to put it on right now. I want to see you wear it.
I don't think it fits. I was like 12 or 13. It's gonna look fun. There we go. There we
Don't tear it apart. But yeah, it kind of is.
There we go.
Excellent. Yeah, because you're not supposed to close these.
Yeah, supposed to. It doesn't go further than this.
Next time back in time or something, you're gonna come with that one. You're gonna be in headbang.
Need to grow out the rest of my hair.
There needs to be a fast loaders thing as well that we apply there.
Yeah,
so
you need to do the this back thing, so I can put that in prominently there.
Yeah, maybe we should make a fast loaders one just for the occasion.
Exactly.
Yep, definitely. And talking about metal, And you said that you appreciate loads of genres. What's your relationship with less melodic genres of metal subgenres? That's how we call them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, let's say, death metal. How do you feel about those?
Yeah, like like more harder metal. Or extreme metal, as it's called. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. For example, there's a band called Death, which is like the grandfathers of death metal, and I really like them. I love Symbolic and the old albums of Death, and Entombed has some cool stuff back in the day. The Swedish band Entombed. Never been into black metal. There was a small period of time when I used to play bass in a black metal band back in Norway in 1996. When everybody wanted to go on and burn churches and be a satanic. I was playing bass in a black metal band for probably like 6 months or so, and I really got bored, to be honest with you. I figured that this is not something that I like, and I started to play guitar again and try to expand my vocabulary of playing. But black metal, there are some great black metal bands, absolutely, don't get me wrong. I mean, Dimmu Borgir, of course, and Immortal, and all these black metal bands are great. It's just that I never been into listening to it, and I never found it very specifically challenging listening wise myself. So but Norway is the country of black metal band. It's probably one of the biggest exports we have, so yeah. And Sweden are more famous for their death metal bands, and you have Meshuggah, which I think is amazing. It's a great band.
Yeah,
it's
just more of a grindcore thing, I guess. But
yeah,
and like some power metal bands.
Yeah. Well, we have those too, yes.
Yeah, power metal, that's probably the Hammerfall.
Yeah, and Pudelrock. Yeah, like Europe.
Absolutely. Look, in Norwegian it's called the same. It's like these glam metal bands with that's why you call Pudel. The hairs are huge, So.
Okay, it sounded like wannabe metal, but rather just rock and soft rock.
Yeah, it kind of is wannabe metal.
Glam rock or glam metal, like Motley Crue, and as you said, this other glam era. Whitesnake, I think, was.
Oh yeah.
Came Pudel rock, so or Europe,
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to think of Europe like that.
Yeah,
never did.
Oh, by the way, Bit Live, is that in October, or have you set a date?
We haven't set a date yet. We're actually currently discussing it. So we're aiming for October, but we still don't know yet specifically. So, but that's what we're. A little bit late on it because all these preparings for the release party in London. So a little bit back on the timeline for that one. But we're coming. We're coming with it.
Okay.
Information. Yeah.
So if I bring this, will you sign it for me?
I probably try to steal it.
You probably would fit in it, though. I'm a little bit too big around here nowadays.
Yeah, but that is until breast kind of. So it doesn't matter how big of a belly you have.
That's true.
maybe if you cut it up.
Oh yeah. It would be more something like Madonna would wear in the 80s.
Right. Yeah. Crop top kind of thing.
Recently, we were in London the Friday and Saturday and prepared for the launch party there with Chris Abbott and all the guys over there, and it was a blast. We had such a great time, just the camaraderie and the whole atmosphere around these arrangements is always so much fun, and it was just unfortunate, of course, that the date fall in the same as X.
Yeah.
We didn't knew that before afterwards because we had to schedule it with Underworld, the club we played, and they had very kind of limited dates available. So
yeah, we heard that was our first panic reaction when we saw oh my god, this is
Yeah, I think we sent a message to like everyone, like you and Board and you, Jarl, and just really, shit.
And then we was actually affected by a train strike in England as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh.
those two were there, so it was all odds against us. But
Yeah.
Oh.
and of course there was several people who couldn't make it because of the train strike as well. So
Shit.
it should have been more people attending probably, but the people who came just made such a fantastic event out of it, and they were really brilliant. The audience was a great audience, and they loved being there, and we had a nice time chat with them afterwards, and it was great.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. So in the end, it all turned out great, which is the most important.
I saw some pictures. Looked really, really nice.
Well, we have the mentality that even if it comes 10 people, we're going to play our asses off, I mean, we're going to give what they came there for, and there are 10 and 200 people or whatever, But of course, it's always fun when it's packed and the atmosphere is just on the limit, on the verge of exploding.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, maybe time for music a little bit, at least.
A little bit.
Yeah, I was thinking, what would it be? How would it be if we would play Turbo Outrun this time?
Sure.
That sounds excellent to me, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me as well.
Krang.
Krang. You always
Krang.
press the other button that is not supposed to be.
It doesn't matter. In this setting, it actually doesn't matter which one we press.
But anyway, yes.
Yeah, it's good to have that in muscle memory, actually. So, because we might change that.
Yep. Turbo Outrun. I'm actually wondering, just looking at the track list for the millionth time, that how much time it took for you to choose all those tracks, like literally all the classics, almost all the classics. Of course, well, like excluding, I guess, Last Ninja was already covered, like very much.
Yeah, it has its own triple album, so
it was fun choosing the tracks, though. I mean, first we started to put out tracks that we played ourselves and actually knew the music ourselves. And then there was this idea of remaking some of the Progressive 64 tracks, actually just some of them, because we figured that the sound quality on that release was, it was not that good, and we thought the songs were great, so we wanted to give them the real mix they needed and they deserved. So, but eventually it was like, I think it was like 4 or 5 tracks, and then became 6, then became 8, and then become the whole album. So, because it's just, I mean, all those tracks are absolutely great, and we used to love and play those games ourselves. But to choose some of the other tracks was fairly easy. I mean, the Commodore has such an amount of games compared to the Amiga. I think it was easier to come up with the names on this album than the Amiga Rocks, because there are more to choose from that we played. And as I told you earlier, a lot of the customized rock pledgers, they come up with tracks that I never even heard. So I just have to pick and listen to them and say, okay, is this something we can do, and is this something that is going to be cool, and stuff. But I think it mostly worked out, I think, and all. And so far we just got positive feedback from the customized rock guys, and I'm very happy that they liked their pledges and editions. So yeah, it's a bunch. I'm sitting here with the actual CD. I just want to show.
Looks so bloody good.
Yep.
Very cool. You have the cassettes here,
Mm-hmm.
Like the artwork.
It's like a recorded SID, so as you did back in the day.
Yeah, indeed, exactly. That's why we wanted to keep the spirit with like the turbo tape thing. And
Yeah, but one thing you're missing on the first one there, you don't have the revolutions. You need to fast forward. On the left hand side, you only have the numbers. But how do you know if you want to hear Bombo number 12 there? How do you know where to find that on the tape?
Well, that's why we have fast loaders.
Oh.
Nice.
Good point.
Yeah, but it looks awesome. And for the physical release, it was the release party that made it completely available, right? That was the first occasion, yeah.
That was the second. So Chris is actually, he's been sending out most of the European CDs around Europe. And people should probably get arriving. We received a message that some have even received their copy yet. So it's right around the corner if you haven't received it. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
And of course, it's still ordering at C64 Audio if somebody missed it and stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just go to C64. I think it's audio.com. I think it's very high up on the list there. Yeah, it is. Just scroll down there. It's right there on the second row. Still available. Right. Triple CD. Blah blah blah. Disc 1, 2, 3, 55 fucking songs.
Did you start to count again?
I did.
Oh my.
And some of the, just to explain like a little bit of the songs, I guess people want to hear maybe. Some of the songs were definitely more challenging than the other songs. Specifically, there are some uses of slide guitar, which is always challenging, especially live. And some were like compositional wise a little bit tricky to kind of glue together and make sense out of than other songs. For example, I remember just looking at the titles there, I remember we specifically worked a lot with Nemesis the Warlock and Katakis. It was kind kind of awkward, like the composition put together. So we had to work a lot with these songs. And some of the Jerry and Tell songs were quite demanding also to play on the guitar, because he have a tendency of making a lot of like guitar-ish soloing programmed. And I wanted to make him justice and try to play these things, and it can be challenging. So, yeah, but it's a bunch of cool tracks, and of course, Sanction was a lot of fun playing. Yeah.
Yeah, and good that you mentioned Katakis, because, well, accidentally I lined it up. Maybe we can play it next time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do have one question, though, with regard to, you said you did some tracks for Progressive 64 that you wanted to kind of give a bit of treatment and whatnot. You do all the mixing and mastering yourself, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's bloody amazing, I think, because I find it's still a struggle, but obviously you've had more practice by now than me. But
yeah, the thing is, actually, C64, no, sorry, Progressive 64 was the first kind of album I did mixing and mastering myself, and throw myself into it stuff. So of course, as the years passes and go by, you kind of dislike the earlier work, but sometimes you just have to take it for what it was, and you just lay it. But I think probably Rock Hubbard had a much better production than Progressive 64, so that's why we choose that album and we redo all these tracks, and also it fitted perfectly onto the concept of the C64 Rocks.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
absolutely.
Proton has a question for a while here. We didn't get there yet, so he says he has a question for you. At first, must say that I love fast loaders, he said, and I'm a C64 musician from Finland. That is the promised land of metal bands, obviously. And what does Jarle think or like about master boot record? If you are familiar.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Finland and all these metal bands. Actually, I have to mention a few that I really like. We talk about death metal, but there is one atmospheric, like doom metal band that I used to love and still probably like. The new stuff is Amorphis. It has an album called Tales of the Thousand Lakes, which I think was brilliant back in the day when it came out in '96, I think. So, and you have Children of Bodom, which have a lot of cool stuff as well. So they have produced a lot of great metal bands and albums out. But I'm not quite familiar with that specific
Master Boot record.
Master Boot record. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
He makes blippy stuff. And he releases a lot of it on Bandcamp. So it's very interesting blippy stuff. It has this attitude to it. Okay. And he does Twitch streams where you can follow him do the tracks. So it sits for like an hour and a half and works on a track, and you can follow his progress. It's very interesting.
Okay, so you can follow his progress live.
Yeah.
Working on it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, that's. Well, I have to check it out then.
Yeah.
And is there a chance to see and hear you in Germany again? Asks FS.
Yeah. Well, we've been in touch there eventually for some other Amiga events, so it might be. We have the contacts there. I cannot promise anything yet, but we're in touch with them, and it might come up next year or the year after, maybe. So we would love to go back there. We got a nice reception last year there in Mönchengladbach, and it was a great after party there. So we would love to come back and do some other gigs. Absolutely.
Sounds great. And what other countries are on the list, if any?
The big world tour or something.
Yeah.
We're going to Poland and Warsaw in October as well.
Yeah.
This October. So yeah, and we're gonna do a split gig with John Hare again.
Nice. So maybe another vocal track then.
Well, who knows? If we haven't discussed anything, but we're gonna do split gear. I guess he's having his set, and then we have our set there as well. So, so it's good, nice fun. I've never been to Poland before, so I'm really looking forward to that. I heard a lot of good things about Warsaw also.
FS says, in 2 years I will be 50. What about then? I think he's asking, are you coming to play at his birthday party?
It can be arranged. Everything can be arranged.
Yep.
Like
Sounds good. That makes me think.
Does it?
Well, I'm turning 40 this year. Unfortunately, it's too soon.
Welcome to the club.
Well, thank you. Unfortunately, it's too soon to arrange a concert in Gothenburg, but it would be awesome.
Yeah, we do have the garden to actually have a concert in. It kind of has a little bit of slope, so if you put the stage at the bottom, you get a natural kind of what are they called? Amphitheater kind of a thing, the Roman thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It would be perfect. Well, I mean, we can have a garden party with fast loaders.
Yeah, that would be
I
awesome.
like that.
So
God. Okay.
Yes.
Love that idea.
Yeah. How about next summer? Garden party with fast loaders.
It sounds funny though.
Yeah, I think I need about a year to warn the neighbors.
Serving drinks, you know.
Oh, yeah. But it needs to have a fast loaders thing on the back though. Before that, you have a year to make it.
We can arrange the pass, but no T-shirt underneath.
No. Needs to cag out and proud.
Oh my God! Yeah, Slaygon has missed his 50th birthday for a big party because it was during COVID. So maybe something can be arranged.
Well, you can always take it back because we actually missed our release with Amiga Rock. So we did it back in time last year actually. So you can arrange your 50th birthday maybe.
Yeah, with C64 Rock's second.
Or maybe you can combine the birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, happy belated birthdays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would be nice.
Great to me. Yeah, absolutely. And well,
they're turning 90 together. So you can have a 90-year birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do need about a year to warn the neighbors around that. Yeah, it's gonna be loud for a bit.
Just a little bit.
Jarle, get out from behind the apple tree.
And since we talked about Katakis, I think it's really probably time to spin it.
It is indeed the time.
Just to show that, because we played so many most well-known tracks, or at least most popular tracks, and I have a tendency sometimes to go for the less, or at least just a little bit or a tad bit less known tracks as well. So
that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Katakis, that was a kind of challenging track to arrange due to the compositional parts of it, but I think we nailed it after a while. Yeah, it's a good track.
It is indeed.
It is one of my favorites,
Yeah, it seems
actually.
to be a bit of a favorite among the people on the channel as well.
I wonder if they heard you right at the start talking, because
they did.
They
like
did.
I said,
Okay.
it doesn't matter which of these you actually put on. So if you say something now, Jarle,
Yeah.
still you can see
Still comes
it
through.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
it doesn't matter because it's the writing is a bit wonky right now anyway. So, but
Okay.
like I said earlier, muscle memory. Good to kind of have that in muscle memory anyway.
Muscle memory. Okay. Good.
So there's a question of who is your favorite video game composer? Mine is Chris Hulsbeck. Yeah, Chris is amazing. The track we just heard was Chris Hulsbeck. So
It's a good timing.
Yeah.
he's definitely up there. It is kind of hard, everybody had their like great compositions and stuff, but while I was actually doing this last CD, I thought to myself, Tim Follin. I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, some of his compositions are just ridiculous. I mean, it's so well put together, and his sense of melodies and technical ability to program this kind of crazy arpeggiated stuffs.
Yeah,
So,
how the things kind of flow into each other and all that, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, he has a very unique style, and you can hear him I mean, immediately that is Tim Follin. So I really love Tim Follin's work. I'm a big fan of his. Yeah, and it is always a challenge to play his stuff because it's crazy. Like even the chords, and he loves the major seventh and major ninth, and do all these kind of crazy arpeggiated lines with it. So
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
you have the black lamp on there as well. So
Oh yeah,
it's it's one of my favorites as well. It's so quirky. I even did a remix of it.
yeah. I heard your remix of it. It's pretty cool. I liked it.
Nice,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lovely track to play around with. Yeah,
A lot of opportunities there.
yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird.
So weird.
Yeah.
When it goes in, I have the sensation of like, I haven't played the game to be honest, but like a pirate song or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It really sounds like it.
No idea. Yeah.
It sounds like it, and what you did is absolutely sounds like it. So, yeah, yeah, definitely. And I just did not want to miss questions here. So half of my eyes, one of my eyes, sorry, is on that. Where was that? Oh yeah, I know. Request list, because Max Levine asked you, have you checked out the Metal Warrior games at all? They scream for a fast loaders tribute. They are practically the C64 equivalent of the Mega Man games when it comes to introducing metal for gamers.
Oh really? No, I'm not aware of that actually. I haven't played them, or I'm not familiar with it. So, but I should probably check it out. Yeah.
I mean, if
Nice.
he has great taste, Metal Warrior games, maybe it can be something.
The one I remember was Samurai Warrior,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Samurai.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Storm Warrior. But no, Metal Warrior. No, I haven't played it.
Okay, that's one more opportunity there.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
opportunities are endless when it comes to SIDS, I guess.
Yep, definitely.
How many files are there actually? I think it's like 8,000 or 10,000 or something.
Oh, there's more like
over
60,000.
60,000 now. I think currently each we see current amount of SID files.
Crazy.
What's the? Yeah, it's absolutely
56,665, and there's a new version of HVAC coming out in a couple of weeks. So it's going to include all the new tracks from all the demo parties and whatnot, and X in particular. There was like, I don't know, 13 entries, something like that. How many
Yeah.
entries were there? I can't remember now.
27. No,
Wow.
that was a previous X. Sorry, 32-ish. I don't know
I can
by
check.
heart, but
There are
around
still
30.
people making these tracks, and some of them sounds pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you actually. Have you?
31.
Yeah, almost. Almost got there. Have you considered to do covers of recent SIDs, not like big classics?
To be honest, no, I haven't, because again, Phosphorus was all about like doing like classic games that we were kind of, playing ourselves and had like some nostalgic value and stuff like that. So
Fair enough.
there is so many to eventually go over if you were gonna take everything. But as far as I'm concerned, try to do like classic games or games that is kind of familiar, and some games that is not that familiar. Some hidden gems here and there, but mostly games that have been released back in the day. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Answer.
For example, the demo scene is huge, and there's a lot of demo tunes that people love with all their hearts and stuff. And I don't know yet, but I personally, I was never into the demo scene, and I barely heard many demos back then. I was too young to if it was a game, I was into it,
Yeah.
So I skipped a lot of opportunities because I know there is a lot of great music from the demo scene as well. So.
Yeah. But for you, it's mostly the nostalgia bit that is of interest.
Yes,
It needs to be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really like you randomly fall in love with a new SID and then all of a sudden you want to cover it without any memories.
It hasn't happened, but I'm not denying it wouldn't happen. But
Okay.
That's actually leading to the second question. Do you listen to like SIDs randomly when you listen to other music, like just listen to, I don't know, you probably hear your favorites of the game music and whatnot fairly often because you want to cover them anyway. But other SIDs, like, I don't know, from the demo scene, or people suggest, well, have you heard this SID and it's awesome, or whatever?
Yeah. No, to be honest with you, no, I don't. I don't listen much to Sid, but probably Board is the one who has shown me some newer Sid stuff, and he's dedicated into that than I am. But and he had shown me some stuff that is like recent made, and it's fairly damn impressive. What they can do these days of Sid. If you're thinking how basic it really is, I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even sound like a SID anymore.
Yeah. But what is the challenge with the SID thing is that I have 3 tracks and there is no stereo tracks like it was from the Amiga Rock, so that there is definitely a challenge arranging these c64 tracks because it's much more limited. When, for example, one of the Commodore composers wanted to do chords, they just do randomly arpeggios because that was their way of doing chords.
Yeah.
So you can kind of, and I think Rain Owen was amazing with that, and Tim Fullen, and there was a lot. But on when we did Amiga Rocks, the mod files had more like chords, and you can kind of understand a little bit more where they wanted to go with the tunes, even samples and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that also brings up a question that I just had. That have you ever made a SID or a mod yourself?
No, never.
No,
Never.
No.
When I think about it, I did have a program on the Amiga that you can make mod files, and I tried to make some music, but I failed completely. I couldn't get programming of it.
Was it Pro Tracker or something?
Yeah, I think it was Pro Tracker,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah, but I didn't understand it. I was very young, so.
You just need to get going and you will, so it's fine.
Maybe that's a good thing. So you picked up the guitar instead, and now we have fast loaders.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
I used to pick up the guitar and start rehearsing instead of spending all my time on the Mod Tracker.
Exactly.
So meanwhile others didn't want to be music, you did real music.
Yeah. As soon as we finish with this interview, I'm going to go straight to the Mod Tracker and start. No.
Yeah.
Oh, what tips here? Fast loaders, artillery. That would be something.
That
okay.
would be something indeed.
Yeah, I think artillery was. It was Bård's suggestion for me to cover artillery.
Yeah.
Yes, that was him. And Geir Shelta is the original composer of that. So, yeah, I mean, there are some compositions, recent ones as well. You never know.
Wasn't there a game called Artillery Duel?
I think, yeah, that was also a music of a game, at least. Was it? Because that's my problem. I don't know the background of that, because I know that it's a relatively recent piece.
Yeah, isn't artillery Geir Shelta?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, but it's just a moment.
As far as I remember, Artillery Duel was a kind of cool game, but there was no music in it. I think it was just
Yeah, that's a
That is one
different,
of those
different
really old school
one.
ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 2009, and then it was a demo music actually. So
Okay.
and surprisingly, there was an Iron Maiden song cover in the SID as well. Just so you know. So it's.
I didn't know that. I knew it was a sample at the Amiga mood file of Caught Somewhere in Time. I heard one time, but I didn't know it was a SID file cover.
Yeah. Artillery Duel from '83.
From '83. Oh, that's
Yeah.
an old one. Right, but it was a fun game as far as I can remember.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and it's the cover of the Clairvoyant from Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, by the way.
Oh, wow.
The third subtune.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Geir Shelta Artillery, and the third subtune basically is an Iron Maiden cover. Figured it
Wow,
out the
nice.
hard way.
That's I wonder here.
Yeah, so yeah, Geir is definitely knowing his stuff as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many
Also
opportunities
Norwegian,
here.
obviously.
Yeah, obviously. A lot of creative juices around there.
Hmm. What else would you do on top of a lonely mountain?
It's
Do
not
SIDS
that
and play
bad.
guitar.
Bergen is a beautiful city. It seems like there are a lot of things to do there, right?
There's always things to do everywhere. When we saw the Iron Maiden concert yesterday, the Bruce Dickinson was talking about going to the Ulriken, which is like the tallest mountain in Bergen, and he got kind of lost up there. So he spent 6 hours walking, and when he and when he was finished, he wanted to call a chopper, and then he sees some Norwegian was jogging past him, and he decided to make his own way down. So, fun story he did say during the concerts.
Yeah.
Are you doing a lot of hiking? Because sometimes we can see pictures, right? Yeah.
I love hiking. We do a lot of hikings. You know, it's we have a lot of mountains here nearby the house and everything. So, do hiking is part of my routine. Actually, when we did back in the day when there was COVID and we did Amiga Rose, I was spending 6 hours inside recording and stuff, and then I went for a long hike to get like fresh mind and going back to work and stuff like that. So it really
Nice.
helps to get new inspiration and to get like into work flow again after a lot of hours just still.
That's nice.
That makes a lot of sense. And how do you deal with the all of a sudden showers there? Because they can be crazy. Like the rain showers. Like, I think the craziest shower I have ever had was in Bergen, which is like 1 minute and you are completely wet. Whatever coat you have on, it's done.
It's intense. It's intense. Yeah, sometimes you have to cope with this. The weather here is quite bipolar. You know, you never know when one of those showers is going to just strike you in the face. So you just always have to go prepared, especially during winter and autumn time. You kind of learn to sense it in a way. Sense it, but sometimes it comes from like a lightning bolt from clear sky and just. But you know, we're used to shitty weather since I was born, so it doesn't affect me anymore.
I'm wet now. I think I might turn around. Nah, I'll just carry on. I'll dry out eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I think it was the first Back in Time was pretty intense weather.
Yeah. It was that's the shower she was mentioning in the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't forget that.
For a year when he came from the airport, and he came out of a taxi, and it was just completely knocking him to the ground. You know? What a welcome.
Yeah, this was, I think, in the evening after the first day or something, and then we were heading back to Bord's place, and then it just opened up, and it was like 5 seconds, and it's like someone throwing a fucking bucket at you. Like,
oh yeah, it was intense, really intense.
Yeah.
And that was another back in town where we had like an Indian summer going on, like very, very warm in October, which is kind of rare, you know. So it was cool. We have good memories from back in times.
Oh yeah. It's the peaks and troughs. You have to keep it dynamic.
Yep. Ups and downs.
Of course, we always hope you guys to come over there because, like, it's becoming a tradition that you guys are there now. So.
Yeah, it's always been awesome every time we come around. So
yeah, love the city as well.
That's why we inquired about the date, so we can start making plans.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we will be sure to notice you in advance. Of course, I mean as soon as we have a date for it. So
yeah, and we'll be screaming about it from day one. Book your fucking flights now.
Yeah.
What do you like the last time in Stereo Bar? As we changed the venue, did you enjoy that place, or do you find it fitting?
I kind of like the previous place better for one reason only: the pillars.
Oh yeah, the pillars.
Yeah, those were the only thing that bothered me. When we got there this time with the new bar, the internet wasn't working, so I had to actually install the fiber at the place to be able to stream.
Suddenly you turn into like an internet engineer.
Yeah, exactly. And we were pulling cables from like downstairs, upstairs, and then we're gonna plug it in, and turns out they're still using their old DSL lines. Fuck, to get hold of people managing the fiber connection and whatnot.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm partly agree. I mean, it kind of worked better the old place because also you have a taller ceiling, you know, so it didn't felt so squeezed. And also with the video footage, it looked better.
Oh yeah, because pillars.
Yeah, because pillars. We actually played now in the Underworld back in London, and there was this pillar just in front of the stage.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, there's going to be a line of people hiding behind the pillar either. So.
Are you sure it wasn't? Are you sure it just wasn't a very tall person, very static?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about it. But actually, there was 300 people attending, but everybody was hiding behind the pillar.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I don't mind the ceiling height so much. It's fairly easy to get something going at a fairly good angle with a camera view, but obviously
we didn't have the burger. We didn't have the ninja burger because they made that burger.
Yep.
So that was something else that was quite cool there.
Yeah. And of course, you have to have a ninja burger.
But there were some nice nice pieces on the drink menu, I think.
Yeah, those were nice.
That we photographed, I think.
Yeah.
That was also really nice.
Yeah.
That was a nice detail.
Yeah. So is it looking like the old place or the same place as last time for this year then?
As for now, actually, the old place is it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, so not the old place then.
Okay.
Then no. So as far as it looks right now, it seems to be the same place as last year. As far as it looks,
yeah.
But it's also a nice and cozy place, so no problem with that.
I think it's important to keep the atmosphere. If the local gets too ambitious and big, you wouldn't get that kind of cozy atmosphere.
Yeah.
as we kind of need. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be a bit rough on around the edges. I think no, it's funnier to work that way, especially for gigs like this. No?
Yeah, absolutely. It's rock and roll.
Exactly. Who cares about a few stickers on the wall and shit like that? You know.
You should see the backstage at the Underworld. There is no one single spot of paint because it's so full of stickers.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember was sitting in there back in 2016 and just chilling before the show, and then Ben Daglish came into the backstage, and he was like, smells like 50 years of rock and roll piss and decadence.
Which is very true, probably.
Very. So he got it said, you know, he was such a character.
Oh my, and meanwhile, oh my god, we barely noticed the clock there.
Oh, yeah.
And there are so many things on the request list, and well, yeah, Proton, thank you so much for pointing that out, that there's also one classic Iron Maiden cover in the request queue, which is an excellent one and made by him. But the thing is that we don't have that much time right now.
And we have 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes to midnight.
Exactly. There we go.
Almost there. And yeah, many things did not get placed in the request list today that were not Fast Loaders related. FS sent a request, any song by Fast Loaders, so he had a great evening, I guess. But yeah, we are absolutely open and happy to play these things, just add them during the next show. And I think that now, what do you think, Slaygon? We might go with one song and then we say goodbye and then
I think that's
another
perfect.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we have one question that is kind of relevant for what we discussed earlier about gigs and whatnot. So we'll get to that after this song, I guess.
Okay, will we? And I'll be a little bit selfish again. Sorry. It's gonna be myth because reasons. But yeah, let's spin it.
You're on top.
And we're back.
Oh, those guitars there. My God. It's like...
Yeah, it's a beautiful track. The Sid and the remix.
Yeah, that is literally the track that I always thought that this is so hard to cover, so it gets in any way better than the original Sid because it's so distinctive, that the fat melody and everything in it. It's just, yeah.
that intro melody just for me screaming guitar, you know. So
Yeah,
definitely.
it does. It definitely does.
like a soaring lead with a wah pedal, you know. It was
Yeah.
just-
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, oh yeah, you actually went in and answered the question Wolfus asked
but I
about
thought it
the
was
concert in
Poland.
Poland.
They put 10 a.m. So no, we won't be able to play 10 a.m.
That's when rockers go to sleep, god damn it.
Yeah, that's why we finished the after party, you know.
Exactly. Well, is that when you get back on stage then?
As you do.
Good. Yeah, I think that is kind of all the questions then.
Yeah, if we haven't missed something on the public channel, because that we didn't have an opportunity to follow that closely. But yep, let's hope that everyone got their questions answered, and of course,
And hopefully a little bit more than that.
yeah, indeed. So that kind of concludes this evening, I guess, because Slaygon would say, in normal circumstances, it's overtime.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes late. God damn it.
Yeah, but I guess it's allowed in special circumstances.
Special circumstances, yes.
But again, it's Slay was Slay forever. So
Yep. So
So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you Jarle for
Yeah.
joining us especially.
yeah,
It was, great
thank
fun.
you.
thank you so much for having me once more, and it's always fun to talk with you guys and see you guys. And of course, thanks for all the questions that popped in, and everybody for getting C64 rocks and for putting it where it belongs and where it is. And
Yeah,
great.
belongs right there.
Exactly.
Definitely, it does. Thank you so much for making all these masterpieces for the delight of our ears. And yeah, looking forward to meet you guys again at the next event, wherever it will be. Who knows? Maybe I go to Warsaw in October. You never know.
Yeah, we never know.
I wanted to visit Warsaw, but of course my plans has changed, so it wasn't plans, and well, still can happen. So
Still can happen.
Yeah, indeed.
There's several days in October.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
I think it's going to be the second weekend in October. We're gonna
Yeah, the October
Noted.
10 was it? When was
10,
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
I was
No, 14.
No, 14. Oh,
Yes.
sorry, because 10,
14th.
10 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
14, so we know at least that is not the Back in Time live weekend. That much we know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So, exclusion kind of a thing going on now.
Yeah. Just counting the days and the weeks until then.
Yeah, I think like that time of year is fairly busy. There's also somewhere around there we have Transmission 64 in November, and I think a week before that is Misstarta. There's in Karlskrona, I think it is. So yeah, that period is kind of busy usually.
Yeah. October, November, fantastic period usually, and so looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us here and providing all
course,
these.
my pleasure.
And our pleasure. And yeah, indeed, see you soon at some point. And we thank also for the listeners, everyone joining us, like and requesting all the songs and contributing with the chat and the questions and everything. And I think that about next week, I might not be here because, well, that will be, but let's see if the guys figure out something.
Maybe I'll just get Jarle to kind of sit in for you.
Why not? I mean,
Yes.
fill in for me, why not?
Yeah.
That would be fun. And the week after we will be back for sure.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens next week, because there might be some spontaneous things. And of course, you know that you can always tune into Boss Radio as well for other live shows with less blippy bloppy music, but partially the same people as well.
Also, a bit of special thanks to Kjetil, who did some corrections on our mistakes with regard to fast loaders right there on Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much as well. And for the whole fast loaders for that matter.
Oh, of course. Bjarte, wherever you are, hello. Love you too.
Yeah.
Indeed. And that concludes the end track, which can you tell a few words about it? Why we picked this end track?
Pendragon's Legacy choose for the end track because it's a special track, as it was like a medley of different games by The Ultimate. Originally, we thought about calling it The Ultimate Medley, but it sounded kind of stupid. So we put it Pendragon's Legacy because Pendragon is the main character in all those games. So yeah, but it was a game that was that personally I loved a lot to play. Black Beach and Staff of Carnot and Entombed and Dragon School. So all these games are meshed together into one song, and I thought it came out well.
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect finish as well, because, mashing up songs together there, it just gives the essence of things even a bit more concentrated. So, wow, awesome. Yeah, thank you everyone once again.
Thank you. Night.
Have a very good night, goodbye, and good weekend. See you soon-ish.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stay in there.
Sleep in tights.
Bye.
Bye.
Slay Radio, baby.